Hi guys, it's Summers here and welcome to the relegation dogfight that we've managed to get ourselves into with our Aston Villa career mode. I'm at home today against Swansea City on what is looking like a very frosty pitch. Let's hope the players can deal with that scenario, as we see that Swansea actually have one of the worst away records. We're not far off though, to be fair. We've only got 11 points from our away results. The team line-up today, we're starting with 5 at the back, so we've got El Mohammadi, Chester, Bastoni, House and Henry, with Berge and McGinn in the middle, Grealish playing in the cam position, with Kodja and Weah up front together. Serge Sander Berge here out on the wing has got the ball, knocks it inside. Timothy Weah there waiting with the header, only 2 minutes in and we've taken the lead against Swansea. It's a fantastic start to the game for us, notching up a goal straight away. Great turn there by Bergen, left-footed, he throws it into the box where Weah's got rid of his 2 markers and was able to get it past the keeper. Fulton there just nowhere near him, but look at the keeping, look at that abysmal keeping. Once again, Sander Berge pulling the strings in midfield. Weah here onto Kodja and not a bad effort, it's deflected wide. Swansea, 25 minutes in, they've got through, but Horn's got to it, come out at the feet. Jack Grealish into McGinn. McGinn's knocked it onto Jack Grealish. He's trying to find some space, he's knocked it onto Berge, and Berge has found Kodja. And it's another goal, 2-0 up, 33 minutes into this game. And we're running rampant over Swansea at this point. Berge finding some space there on the edge of the box and knocking it into Kodja, who's there just to knock it past the keeper. Again, not fantastic keeping again. Swansea on the ball here, second half. That was a close one from IU. Grealish. Oh, what an effort from the captain. Lovely shot there from the edge of the box. Nearly curled it in. And there we go. A good result to get this episode kicked off. Some great performances from some of the players. Sander Berge getting a 9.3 and man of the match there, accumulating 10 points in this game, with Kodja getting 8 and Weah a little bit further behind on 5. So as we move into a bit of training, we've got Smith Rowe here, they were trying to improve the young winger. Just going to take up the first few slots here. As we try to give him his reward for the player of the episode last time around. So we've filled up 4 of those slots and taken the last one with Weah. Also, I've got a request here for a loan for Smith Rowe. As usual, I will negotiate and try to get a cut deal in terms of the wages. I want to send him out on a short-term loan rather than a long-term loan. I do think that's something that perhaps might be worth changing again in FIFA, in terms of so that we don't have to do all these negotiations in regard to setting up loan deals. As we look to relocate our scouts, going to send one of the scouts here, Alfie Rose, away to home nation. Going to try for a defensive-minded player, and then we are going to send off Lewis Fraser to the United States. And we're going to look for a player that perhaps will work with Timothy Weah, let's say, if we base it on the fact that they're both United States-based players. Okay, and we're moving into the second game of this episode. We're at Craven Cottage against Fulham, away from home. Our lineup for this game is Horn in goal, 4 at the back again, Bree, Oxford, Zagadou and Henry. Midfield is Grealish, Berge and McGinn. And then we're going with 3 up front with Nelson, Weah and Green. It's Fulham who are going to get things underway straight away with 5 minutes on the clock, and Horn there having to grab hold of that looping header. 12 minutes in and Fulham are moving the ball around nicely here. Knocked it into the box. We cleared it away, but not successfully. And they're on the edge of the box, Mitrovic, and Mitrovic has put it in the top corner there. 1-0 down. It was a good goal. We did use the long clearance because we've been caught out in the past by perhaps just knocking the ball a little short. But even so, the ball's come straight back at us and Fulham have managed to get the first goal. Mitrovic with the strike. Got the ball again here. Knocking it around nicely. Knocked it inside. And they're out on the wing with Ryan Sessegnon, and we've let the player go, and unfortunately 2-0 down. Long way back from there. Great ball here from Sessegnon. Just glides past our players in the centre of the defence there. Zagadou gets the wrong side of the player and he's able to stroke it home. Over the top ball there from Jack Grealish to Bree. He's knocking it inside to Nelson, and Nelson's nearly found Weah. He's unlucky there. As Fulham come on the attack again. I think we got away with one there. That was surely a penalty as we knocked him over in the box. Nice lobbed through ball there. Has found James Bree out on the wing. He's cut inside slightly and knocked it in the box. And that's so unlucky there from Breen with the header. Another opportunity. Bree knocking it in the box, but the keeper's managed to get his hands to it and knock it away. It's found its way out back out to Bree here. Can he get a decent crossing? He knocks it out to Grealish. Grealish knocks it over to Green. Green's found McGinn, and McGinn's found Weah. Unlucky there from Weah. But we're back on the ball again, putting an immense amount of pressure on Fulham just before the end of this first half. Can't really blame the players there at the end of that half. We really did put the Fulham players under pressure. As James Bree here, we've won just as the game starts to unfold in the second half. Lobbed it through to Nelson, but he'd managed to get himself into an offside position. Fulham here with another opportunity that's got deflected. Cabano on the wing here, knocked it into Mitrovic, the goal scorer earlier on for Fulham. Attempted to clear that by Zagadou, and it just literally deflected off of him. 2-0 loss there, obviously, against Fulham. As you can see, just not enough shots to warrant us getting any kind of performance out of that game. Only 2 shots on target. Sorry, 2 shots on goal and only 1 on target. We're never going to win in those scenarios. So the game's best players were Bree, lots of crossing opportunities, and the player of this episode currently stands with Berge at 10, Codger with 8, Weah with 5 and Bree with 5. Moving on into a bit more training, and we're going to pop a few of the youngsters into slots. So first off, we've got Bjorn Lundberg, a young right midfielder that we want to try to improve. Potentially getting him into the squad before the end of the season or the start of next. We've got this young centre-back Gordini. Expecting quite good things from him in the future. Then we've got the young left-back Josh Fagnerman. And then a couple of slots for the goalkeepers, having only used the 1 slot for Lundberg in the first place. Just checking out what's going on here. Got Figueroa in the last slot, who we're going to change for Smith Rowe by the looks of it. And set the training going. Okay, we've had an overall improvement there from Giordano. He's gone up to 62 rated overall, so that's some good news. So we get a loan offer in for Dan Axel Zagadou. This won't take place until next season now, so he'll go out on loan as of next season, and he's off to RB Leipzig by the looks of it. Again, trying to renegotiate the terms so that we pay less. They're wanting a 70-30 split, which obviously reduces our wage bill slightly. I'm happy to accept that. and we've got an transfer offer in for Courtney House. Now, Courtney House was a good player for us in the Championship, but he hasn't really stepped up to the level of the Premiership, and we obviously brought in a few extra players as well to try to solidify what's going on at the back. Dan Axel Zagadou being one of those players that superseded him. So I've just accepted an offer there of 2.1 million with a 5% sell-on clause, which will obviously come into play at the start of next season. As we move into the third game of the episode, we're at home here at Villa Park against Leicester City. So it's a slightly Midlands derby. Leicester being from East Midlands. Some would class it as a Midlands derby. Personally, I wouldn't. But as we can see the lineup here, we're playing 5-2-1-2. We've Bree, Chester, Bastoni, Zagadou, Wagnerman, Burge, McGinn, Grealish, Kodja and Dicko up front. Only a few minutes into the first half here, 4 minutes in, and Leicester are knocking the ball around lovely. Oh, they've managed to get in behind. It's a very cheeky goal at the near post there from King. Got the ball knocked in down the channel towards him, and he just turned on it and hit it near post. Keeper was a bit poor, to be fair. Caught in two minds, I think, as whether he was coming out to the feet or just going to stay in position, and ended up going past him. Okay, and as we can see, this is what's now going to become one of my classic bugbears about FIFA. He's offside. If you can see, I've basically marked out here. The white line depicts where King is, and the black line depicts the furthest foot forward of one of my defenders. So on that basis, I would suggest that King is offside. Now, I know the rules suggest that the striker should be given an advantage, but I think I've noticed several times now on FIFA that advantage is actually too large. As we see Sander Berge there having a rather speculative effort from about 20 yards out. Dicko there on the back post could have quite easily got onto that, but it was good defending from Leicester. So they've knocked one into the box here. Another fantastic opportunity for Leicester. Moving on into the second half, obviously, and great through ball there from Maitland-Niles, but Grealish just couldn't bring it under his spell and get the shot away. Another good save from Horn. Got the ball here out on the wide right with Maitland-Niles. Oh, he's lost it, but regained possession, and it's got into Kodja. Kodja's knocked it over to Grealish. Grealish to Shaparenko, and Smith Rowe with a goal. Could have quite easily done a similar scenario to what happened with King earlier on in the game for Leicester there, and just hit it first time as it came across his body. But we switched back, cut inside, and it did take a deflection off the keeper, but it was still a good goal there from Smith Rowe from the wing. Well, it was actually the defender's foot that it hit rather than the goalkeeper. Both of them trying to go for the same ball and try to cause the block. Leicester with 89 minutes on the clock, and they've just hit a wondrous strike from about 22 yards there. Got mugged at the end of the game there against Leicester. 2-1 victory for Leicester over us. Shaparenko getting man of the match and accumulating 7 points for the game. Smith Rowe got 4, Grealish got 4 and Bree got 4. So this episode's top players are now Smith Rowe with 11, Bree with 9, Grealish with 8, Kodja with 8 and Shaparenko getting onto the board with 7. Moving on out to some training again. Shaking it up with a few slots in for Smith Rowe. Eager to get the young ex-Arsenal player with some momentum basically before we get him out on that loan deal. So we give him 4 slots and wear another. Hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join us for more FIFA 2019 content.